Hi everyone, Piyush Mittal this side, and today I'll be discussing about longest palindromic substring. So before starting about longest palindromic substring discussion, I'll be discussing about what is palindromic string. So if we have string A and we reverse the string and get the same result, such kind of string is known as palindromic string. If we take another example and we take the string A and we reverse the string and get the same result, then again such kind of string is known as palindromic string. So if we have string S1 equals to BANANAS and we take the palindromic substring which has the maximum length, so such kind of string is known as longest palindromic substring. So longest palindromic substring in string S1 is ANANA. Let's take another example. S2 equals to BXAABBA and the longest palindromic substring in string S2 is ABBA. Let's discuss about the brute force approach to find out the longest palindromic substring. If you have string S1 equals to BXAABBA and the length of string S1 is n, so what you have to do is you have to find out total combination of string S1 and the total time complexity to find out all the combination of string S1 would be n square. After finding out all the combination of string S1, what you have to do is you have to compare each and every string from that combination and check whether that string is palindrome or not. After finding out the palindromic substring, you have to find out the maximum length palindromic substring from that combination. So the total time complexity to find out the longest palindromic substring in this way would be the time complexity to find out the total combination of string S1 into the time complexity to find out the total substring comparison. So the total time complexity in this way would be order of n raised to the power 3, and this is very high time complexity and which can be reduced by using dynamic programming to n raised to the power 2. Before jumping directly to the dynamic programming, I would like to discuss about how we have to implement the dynamic programming to find out the longest palindromic substring. So the basic fundamental behind dynamic programming approach is how effectively you can use your already computed result. So let's start with one example. So let's take character B and consider it as a string and check whether this string is palindromic substring or not. So since this is a single character and it's a palindromic substring. Let's take another substring. So take another string starting from index 3 till 5, and now what we have to do is instead of checking the whole string whether it's a palindromic substring or not, what we have to do is we have to only check the boundary characters. So compare boundary character. If they are equal, what we have to do is we have to check whether the string in between both of the characters is palindromic string or not. If that string is palindromic string, that means the characters starting from index 3 till 5 is a palindromic string. Since we have already calculated the string in between both of the character and it is palindromic string, that means if both of the characters are equal, the string starting from index 3 till 5 is a palindromic substring. Let's take another set of string. Now again what we have to do is we have to only compare the boundary characters, and then we have to, if both of the characters are equal, what we have to do is we have to check the characters between both of the boundary characters is palindromic substring or not. Since we have already calculated this particular string and it's a palindromic, if both of the boundary characters are equal, that means the string starting from index 2 till 6 is a palindromic substring. So in this case it's a palindromic substring. Let's take another set of string starting from index 1 till 7. Now what we can see that x is not equals to z. That means the string starting from index 1 till 7 is not the palindromic substring. Here we can simply see that we are reusing a result and we are avoiding lot of computations. Let's take another example and understand how we can use this approach in dynamic programming. So what we have to do is we have to take a window of a fixed length, and then what we have to do is we have to move this window by one character. So this will happen in iterations, and previously calculated window result we have to reuse in new iteration. Means if the window size is 3 in this iteration, so we'll have to check all the characters in each window size whether that those characters or the string found by that window is palindromic string or not. And if we move to the another iteration and the window size is 4, so we have to reuse the resultant output of window size 3 in the window size 4. So let's understand by this example. So here the window size is 3 and we have to check whether the string for this window is palindromic string or not. So again we have to check the boundary characters. So this B and this B is equal. That means the string formed by this window is palindrome. Next for another window, so the string is XXA. Now check X with A, both of the characters are not equals, so that means this window is not forming a palindromic subsequence. Let's take another window and check whether X is equals to the character at position 4, which is equals. So that means this window is forming a the palindromic subsequence. Now take another window and check the boundary characters. So both are not equal, that means it is not forming a palindromic subsequence. Now take another window and check the boundary character. Both are not equals, that means this is not the palindromic subsequence. So what we have to do is we have to reuse the resultant for next iteration. So here I am taking window size as 5, and let's see how we can reuse the previously calculated resultant to compute whether the string formed by this window is palindromic string or not. So let's take the string starting from character 0 till 4 and compare both of the boundary level characters. So compare B with another V. Both of the characters are equals. Now what we have to do is we have to reuse the previously calculated result of window 3, where we have already calculated the string starting from index 1 till 3 was palindromic substring or not, and that was not palindromic substring. That means this string starting from index 0 till 4 is not a palindromic substring, because this string is not a palindromic substring. So move to another window. So string formed by the index starting from 1 till 5, and we have to check the boundary characters. X is equals to A, so both of the characters are not equals, that means this string is not a palindromic substring. Now move to another window and check the boundary character. So X is equals to X. Now what we have to do is we have to check the string formed by these characters is palindromic substring or not. We have already checked the string starting from index 3 till 5 was a palindromic substring. That means this string is palindromic substring. Now move to next window. Since both of the boundary characters are not equals, that means this string is not a palindromic substring. So let's discuss about how we have to implement dynamic programming tabular approach to solve this problem. So I have this table and this logic written over here, and I'll be discussing about how we have to fill up this table using this logic. So first row and first column of this table is representing the string from which we have to find out the longest palindromic subsequence. And then what we have to do is we have to fill up this table diagonally until we reach to this right topmost block. So what we have to keep in mind is for first two iteration we are not supposed to use this logic. So this logic would be used from third iteration onwards, and apart from that we will be using two windows. So first window would be moving towards its right direction, and that window would start from here, and another window would be moving downwards direction, and that would start from here. So in each iteration we will be increasing the window size by 1, and it will be increased till its maximum size. Why we are using this window? So that window would be representing the set of string. So each cell is representing one string, and if we talk about this cell is representing the string starting from 0 till 2, and if the cell value is 0, that means this string is not palindrome, and if the cell value is 1, that means the string is palindrome. Let's take one example of window size 3, and if we talk about this window, and that window would be representing these characters, and if we talk about this window would represent these characters. If the window size is 3, we can clearly say that both of the cells would already be filled, because if we talk about window size is 3, there would be at the first iteration there would be window size 1, and the second iteration there would be window size 2, that those windows would be filling both of these cells, right? So we would be here at the window size 3. So if we observe it clearly, we can say that this window and this window at this block is representing the last character of this string starting from 0 till 2, and this character is representing the first character of the string starting from 0 till 2. So what we are doing is we are checking first and the last character of this string, and there would be two cases. Both of the characters would be equal, or both of the character would not be equal. In case if both of the characters are equal, now what we have to do is we have to check whether the string in between both of the characters is palindrome or not. And how we can check that? What we have to do is we have to move to its diagonal and check whether this cell value is 1 or not. If this value is 1, that means this string starting from 0 till 2 is also a palindrome. If both of the character does not match to each other, that means the string is not palindrome. And this is how we have to use this sliding window effectively to check whether the string which is denoted by this sliding window is palindrome or not. So let's start how we have to fill this table and how we have to find out the longest palindromic substring. So in first iteration, both of the sliding window would be representing the single characters, and we have to fill the diagonal element where I is equals to j, because each sliding window is representing only one character. So compare B with another sliding window character B which is equal, so we have to fill 1 at the diagonal element. So again we have to check X with X of another sliding window. Both of the characters are equal, so we have to fill 1. Likewise, in first iteration all the diagonal element would be 1. So in this iteration the window size would be 2. Let's see how we have to compare the character in this iteration, and keep one thing in mind, that we are not supposed to use the logic which we have to use at the which we have to use from third iteration onward. Let's check whether B is equals to X. Both of the characters are not equals, that means put 0. X is equals to X, fill the block with 1. Check X is equals to A, not equals, fill the block with 0. Check A with B, fill the block with 0. Check B with B, fill the block with 1. Check B with A, fill the block with 0. So this iteration has been completed. So let's start with the third iteration. Here the window size would be 3, and if both of the matching character matches to each other, we can implement this logic from this iteration onwards. Let's start to iterate the windows. So now compare B with X, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare X with A, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare X with B, no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare A with V, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare B with A, there is no match, fill the block with 0. So this iteration has been completed. Let's move to another iteration. So in this iteration the sliding window size would be 4. Let's start. Now compare B with A, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare X with B, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now compare X with B, there is no match, fill the block with 0. Now check A with A, yes there is a match. So what we have to do is, if there is a match, what this logic says, we have to move to the diagonal block, and if the diagonal block value is 1, that means this string is also a palindromic string. So move to the diagonal element, move to the diagonal block and check the value is 1. Yes, the value is 1. That means this cell is also representing the string which is palindrome. So let's see this example and understand how we are using this logic. So we are comparing both of the boundary characters, which is A, and both of the boundary characters are equal. Now what we are doing is, the string in between both of the characters is palindromic or not by increasing 3 by 1 and decreasing 6 by 1, which is representing the cell 4 and 5, and we are, and for the cell 4 and 5 is representing the string in between both of the character, which is 1. That means this string is also a palindromic substring. So I have filled up this table by using this logic, and we can clearly say that this block is representing the longest palindromic substring. So how we can say that this block is representing the longest palindromic substring is, if we observe the whole table, we can say that only these two blocks are representing the 1. If we keep track of such blocks where the diagonal are 1, we can easily find out the longest palindromic substring. This is how we can implement the dynamic programming to find out the longest palindromic substring. Thanks for watching the video.